7 rappers who aren't as rich as you thought. It's impossible to deny that being rich, or at least looking the part, is a big part of being a rapper these days. But are all these guys as rich as their bars might make you believe? Sure, some rappers stick to the truth in their songs, but many are also known to stretch the truth just a little bit. Rap songs are entertainment. They don't need to be autobiographical. The game would be a lot less interesting if every rapper just talked about their normal, day-to-day lives. They have to spice it up somehow. What I'm saying is that a rapper doesn't have to be rich to talk about being rich. Sometimes they don't even need to be rich to appear rich. Rented cars, fake jewelry, and the like are more common than you might think. And then there are also just rappers that we assume are rich just because they're popular. While hit songs often result in a whole lot of money, the financial aspect of it is usually a bit more complicated than that. Some of the rappers that you would guess are on top of the world actually have bank accounts that are struggling more than you would imagine. Many rappers aren't as rich as they seem, whether it be because of bad record deals, poor money management, or even a gambling problem. Before I jump into this video though, make sure you like it and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Now, here are 7 rappers who aren't as rich as you thought. Number 7, Lil Yachty. One of the leaders of the new generation of rappers, Lil Yachty exploded onto the scene back in 2015 with his hit track One Night. He released 4 major projects since then, and has had many songs that have had some real success on the charts. He's also had a keen eye for features, hopping on songs like Dram's Broccoli and Kyle's I Spy to pad up his resume a bit. Despite a fair amount of hits, there have been a lot of debate on whether or not Lil Yachty has fallen off. Interestingly enough, it seems like the rapper's popularity seems to come in waves. Just when people start to write him off, he comes back with a new song that goes gold. That's what we recently saw with Oprah's bank account, and I'm sure it'll happen again. So the guy has a great ability to stay afloat. And on top of that, we know he's been involved behind the scenes on several other songs, including the absolutely massive anthem from City Girls, Act Up, which he helped on as a ghostwriter. So Yachty has to be rolling in it, right? Well, sort of. His net worth is pretty solid at $8 million, but that doesn't tell the full story. Back in 2019, Yachty was sued by his jeweler because he owed him $200,000. Apparently, Yachty said to his jeweler, quote, "Bro, if I had it, I would give it to you." Oof. Not the kind of thing you'd expect to hear from a platinum-selling rapper. Number 6, Chief Keef. It's hard to overstate just how legendary Chief Keef really is. While he may not enjoy the same mainstream recognition that superstars like Drake and Lil Wayne do, it's inarguable that Keef paved the way for the modern generation of more melodic rappers. He's also had some really huge songs, even if most of them were in the past. But Chief Sosa really is a great example of how popularity and influence doesn't always equate to money. He may have made some great money off of Love Sosa, I Don't Like, and other tracks, but his finances are looking pretty shaky lately. Apparently, he owes $500,000 in unpaid child support, being that he has 4 kids. And court documents indicate that he is only making $13,000 a month. That might sound like a lot to some of you, but that's because it is for most people. But Sosa doesn't live like most people. Just this year, he purchased a Lamborghini Urus, a car that costs $200,000. So that leaves us with 2 options. Either Chief Keef is living far above his means, or his accountant is fudging his numbers and he actually makes more than $13,000. I could totally see Chief Keef having Marty Byrde working for him as his accountant, so he doesn't have to pay his child support. Number 5, Birdman. Birdman, the rapper that everyone knows and hardly anyone listens to. While Birdman has appeared on a few songs that you may have heard of in recent years, most notably collaborating with Young Thug and Rich Homie Quan on the classic Rich Gang The Tour Part 1 mixtape, Birdman is mostly known for his work behind the scenes. He's the founder of Cash Money Records and helped start Young Money Cash Money Billionaires. This means that Birdman was one of the main people to help kickstart Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj, and Drake's careers. He really helped shape the landscape of rap today. He's also made headlines for his business practices, with some people like Weezy claiming that his record deals were unfair and took money away from musicians. From everything that we know about Birdman, he really ought to be one of the richest rappers in the game. So how is it that someone like Birdman could fail to pay for their home? Back in 2018, Birdman's impressive Miami beachfront mansion was foreclosed on and put on the market for about $15 million. He even had to surrender his possessions into storage. The house finally sold this year for a price far under what Birdman originally paid for it. Ouch. Number 4. Future. Future has been at the top of the game for a long time, and he shows no signs of slowing down. He's released huge album after huge album, collaborated on records with some of the rap's top talent, Young Thug, Juice WRLD, and Lil Uzi Vert to name a few, and started some viral catchphrases. And with a net worth estimated to be around 40 million, it's hard to believe that Future would find a spot on this list. But you have to keep in mind that Future is really the epitome of the modern rapper. He might be rich, but all that he earns is seemingly put back into his image. Rare clothing, expensive cars, and crazy jewelry are all part of a regular shopping spree for Pluto. Could it be that his spending habits are making him appear more financially stable than he really is? Once again, the best place to look here is court documents. His 2020 court documents from a child support case suggest that he is only making $30,000 a month. It's been a few years, but that definitely doesn't add up to the Forbes estimated 2017 yearly earnings of $23 million for Future. So, it's complicated. If he's making $30,000 a month, how is he spending $200,000 a month on clothes? As he said in his complex sneaker shopping interview, "Your guess is as good as mine, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he makes a bit more than $30,000 monthly. At least I would hope so, with as many hits as the guy has." Number 3. Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar might be one of the biggest rappers of the 2010s, but the guy isn't known for leading a typical rapper's lifestyle. He's actually pretty humble. He dresses like a normal guy. He's always in the same Nike Cortez shoes, is rarely rocking iced out jewelry, and just keeps to himself in general. But is that because he's really that humble? Or does he perhaps make a bit less money than his hit records might make us believe? As we all know, record deals are complicated. You would assume that Kendrick would be living it up, but he actually just bought a house for $524,000. Is that a lot of money? Yeah. Is that a lot of money for a rapper to drop on a house? Not really, no. Especially in California, a home at that price is pretty modest. So is this just because Kendrick is really as low-key as he seems? If he doesn't want attention, it would make sense that he would buy a house that lets him just blend in. But it's also definitely possible that Kendrick is in a less than favorable position with his label. He wouldn't be the first artist to take home a meager sum of the money that he actually makes. Number 2. Lil Wayne. The story of Lil Wayne's money troubles are well known at this point. He fought in the courts for quite some time to wrestle his cash from Birdman and the rest of Cash Money, which is why the Carter 5 was delayed so many times. But Wayne has actually had money problems aside from this. To put it simply, Lil Wayne doesn't really have the best history with the IRS. In 2014, it was reported that he owed $12 million, and that number just keeps climbing over the years. It seems unfathomable that an artist like Wayne wouldn't have that kind of money laying around to pay his debts. But the way that he spent his money didn't leave him with that kind of cash left in the bank. It's often said that Wayne's spending habits brought him to the brink of bankruptcy. And that's very true. In order to pay off his debts, he actually had to get some help from Jay-Z. When he finally paid off the IRS at the end of 2018, he publicly stated at a concert that he was only able to do this with the help from Jay. So remember, having a large net worth doesn't necessarily mean that you're rich. For Wayne, his large net worth was largely in non-cash assets. When it came time to pay up, he wasn't able to. Seems like there's a financial lesson to be learned from this story. And at number 1, we have Offset. From the outside, Offset seems like a rapper that would have an absolutely untouchable fortune. Aside from the endless list of hits he's racked up with Migos, he wasn't left off of Bad and Bougie, by the way. He also has a successful solo career, a popular album with 21 Savage, and is a pop culture mainstay. Even though he hasn't been at the top for the longest, he's spent his time well, and he definitely seems poised to rake in the big bucks at this point. But once again, it's important to remember that things are not always as they seem. Offset, in spite of all the money that he's made from his music, is actually in debt. At the end of 2019, the rapper faced a lawsuit from his jeweler that claimed that Offset owed him almost $50,000. It's never a good sign when rappers start signing checks that they aren't able to pay. And that's not the end of Offset's financial woes either. Just a few months before that lawsuit hit, it was revealed that Offset owed the Georgia Department of Revenue for more than $200,000. Quavo and Takeoff have also reportedly struggled to pay their taxes taxes in the past as well. Does this mean that the Migos are getting the short end of the stick with their record deal? It's hard to say. Offset makes his public appearances in as much jewelry as before, so it seems like his spending habits really haven't changed in the past year. Maybe he's doing fine, maybe he's just faking it. With rappers, as with anyone else, wealth can sometimes be an illusion. Just keep that in mind the next time you hear an unknown rapper spit about how much cash they have. So did any of the rappers on this list surprise you? Let me know in the comments. And before you leave, don't forget to click the like button. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
Эй, йоу! Рап здесь. Это поэзия улиц. Поэзия улиц. Это часть хип-хопа. Ага. Цвет, бумага, стружки от карандаша. Рука выводит неровные строки, куда-то спеша. Ведь нужно успеть в рифмы сложить все мысли. История на сущном истории. Из нашей жизни мы рассказываем их всем под хлопки в ладоши. Под звуки ударных часто не скажешь, что хороших. Но тут насрать всем на шумы и на твою обертку. Здесь ценят за другое, можешь нарваться на отвертку, если ты не следишь за собой и за своим базаром. Здесь по многим местным давно плачут нары. Слава здесь иная, не та, что по ТВ и радио. Да, нас вырастила она, улица, мать ее. Родные кварталы, по жизни первые шаги, первые победы и потери, друзья и враги. Все творится здесь, этим мы живем и дышим. Наши рифмы, наши судьбы, тут мы их и пишем. С улиц на каждый район музыка летит из дома в дом. Рифмы несутся на свет, всюду звучит за куплетом куплет. С улиц на каждый район музыка летит из дома в дом. Рифмы несутся на свет, всюду звучит за куплетом куплет.